I think Bemrose in general has the right idea.
Hello and welcome to episode number 143 of Unrelenting, the podcast that never relents. I'm Darren O'Neill. He is Jin of Don't even try to spell it. Don't even try to think it.
What's going on?
You're live on the Mighty No Agenda stream. Cleanfeed has changed its interface, and they're like, oh no, the Cleanfeed free is now Cleanfeed Lite.
Yeah.
And I went in to try to wanted to send you a link, and they're like, this feature will be gone soon. Mm-hmm. You could only create one link and then everybody uses it.
Yeah, and then that'll be gone as well.
Right. Well, that's the next step from the buy this.
And I've said this many times over the years. I don't understand why they provide a free version in the first place.
They want to get you hooked. I understand that much. But the free version was enough that I didn't need to go pro. So that is where the problem occurs. It's like the free version is so good that you
remember we used Zencastr for a while?
We've tried a bunch of them.
Zencastr, which I haven't used for literally several years, all of a sudden I started getting emails saying, hey, you need to update your credit card.
You're like, no, I don't.
I'm like, don't have a subscription. Why would I need to update a credit card? But remember, Zencastr said during COVID, when COVID was probably a couple of months old, they said, everybody wants to try podcasting, so we're just going to give everybody the full plan for free. And they did that for 2 years, I think.
And then
eventually they're like, well, COVID's kind of dying out, so you want to keep using it, you're going to have to start paying. Which is when I stopped using it. But apparently, their system still has my credit card on file.
Well, of course, for your convenience.
Mm-hmm.
The new Cleanfeed Lite will still have unlimited recording time, which is good.
Yeah.
They are now limited to 2 guests, which...
Ooh, that's a big negative.
For a lot of people, yeah. For me and you, probably not, because we've learned that having...
Well, we got 4 of us here, we got the 2 of us and we got the 2 of our egos.
Right. And those are big.
Yeah. So are the first ones.
That's true. Having a co-host, everybody can handle. Having a co-host and a guest, you can still pull off a decent show. Anything beyond that starts to get bumpy.
Yeah.
So I don't even have that big of an issue with the number of guests. Also because with the Motu, I can just open up 2 different versions of Cleanfeed and double that. Yay. It won't do multi-track recording, although it never did.
Not for the free one.
No privacy controls on the free one, of course.
Yeah.
No markers, no studio tools, no audio repair, and now local audio sources 1, although I think that's always been the way. And your remote has to be
on your end too.
Mono. Is it what it's clicking now?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't hear anything on your end yet, so that's good.
Good.
Either that or we're having any kind of an issue here with the mix.
Yeah, there's definitely no options of any kind anymore in here.
No, that's the other true thing. It's like you got what you got. And if you think you're going to change anything, pretty much no. It's very straightforward. The audio quality is still good. Also, though, we're at the time where there are a lot of options for good quality audio. This isn't when Cleanfeed started, this was still a harder thing to find. Now it's a lot easier to be able to connect, including we never even tried allegedly with the Motus. You might be able to just connect those together without a without a middleman and be like, well, that's all we need. The remote audio mono only, not really that hard to believe. You have muted yourself if you're not aware. Maybe you are.
I was just trying to explain. I think this thing did some AI and muted me because I was trying to say, Zoom has become a very good option for podcasts because they've added podcast specific stuff in there, and including not just recording, but generating the summaries, doing chaptering, and having either a full mix or a individual person per soundtrack option. And of course, they've had the musicians mode for a long time, which effectively disables all the filtering and gating that normal Zoom does for meetings.
Yeah, the lowest latency as possible, the best quality audio going back and forth.
But Zoom does have its own free version, which does limit, I think, the time duration, whereas the paid version is unlimited time, or, like 8 hours or something.
Now, there's 3 different versions now of Cleanfeed, although I don't know why anybody would use Cleanfeed Cinema. That seems a little bit odd, but it will allow for center stage video at 60 frames a second. That is $2,500 a year. So let's just take that one right off the. So you have free.
Oh, I can tell you what that's for
people doing remote TV,
voiceovers,
like Bill O'Reilly's doing.
Probably more for people doing voiceover work.
That too, but I think this, including the video, I could tell O'Reilly this week was in West Palm Beach. And his audio and video sucked. You could tell that there was a massive amount of compression. So I'm guessing the way he does the show, kind of like the daily tech news show with what's his name and what's her name? The ones they used to be on Leo's show. Pemrose's favorite guy, I forget their name, but it's the Daily Tech News Show, and the Roger Chang. I remember Roger Chang, so good on you, Roger. He's the producer, and the other 2 are remote. So I'm guessing the way the show is recorded is there's one guy in one location. Tom Merritt, thank you, Cotton Gin, and maybe that's what he was doing because that way you'd have a system. So otherwise, I don't understand.
I know why he likes him, because he looks like him.
Who looks like who?
What's his face looks like Tom Merritt.
Leo?
No, not Leo.
Cotton Gin?
Oh, not Cotton. Pemrose. Man, you're not hitting your usual 500 here.
I didn't take any B12 today. That's the problem.
Do that too. Let me get stacked up on the B12.
But here's the thing. So now you basically have Lite and Pro. And for Lite, as I said, the number of guests 2. For Pro, you know what the number of guests is?
3?
32.
32. It should be 33, goddammit.
Right. But can you imagine having, it would be 33 with the host. Can you imagine having 33 people live on a fucking podcast?
I've seen, not that many now. I've seen videos, I think, with 16, which it becomes completely unmanageable.
Yes, if you don't mute somebody and then go back to them. Of course, it's got the multi-track recording and all that, and it is $34 a month, and there's a discounted rate for $22 a month. Like,
that's still rough. I mean, 22 is more reasonable, but for 32, you could get much more interesting systems than that.
Yes, you certainly can. And to qualify for the discount, if you're an individual for personal use only, not expense to a business, and not more than $100 or not more than $10,000 per year of commercial activity.
Well, that's like Jesus.
That's nothing. I wouldn't qualify.
No.
All of my shows combined
do $10,001. You told me before,
right, just about that. For a year.
Yeah.
And of course I have to split that with you and Bemrose and Larry. So by the time I get it, but it's like, it's an expense to a business.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're an official registered charity or nonprofit, could we just be a registered charity?
Yeah, well, we should talk about that.
Or we could be a recognized educational establishment, such as a school, college,
I was
university.
thinking of a religious establishment might
That's
work
true.
better for Texas.
Yeah, who are we going to?
Yeah.
Who are we going to worship?
I'm looking at Zoom right now. Okay, so this is Zoom, which gives you better quality than this thing, I think. It is $13.33 per month.
Yeah, you can't beat
it
that.
just beats it automatically. There's 3 threes in there in
Yes.
that number. So
Now, it also does all the same stuff like the multi-track recording and all that, right?
It'll do up to 100 participants per meeting.
Damn.
Up to 30-hour-long meetings. This is clearly for our Chinese friends. It has the AI companion crap built in. It stores up to 5 gigs of your audio stuff. They've got a thing called Google Docs now. I don't know if you've seen that. Google Docs. They've got a thing called Zoom Docs, which is a knockoff of Google Docs. So if you want to store your documents in the cloud in China, you could use that. They have Clips Plus, which is unlimited. And of course, they've got integration with mail and calendar. So you don't ever miss a podcast recording because you forgot that you were having stomach issues.
Now, Billy Bones just came up with our perfect religious spinoff so we can make him a bishop in the religion. Unrepenting.
That's a great domain. I love it.
It's probably somebody's already got that. Like, oh, what are you doing, everybody?
You think?
The Opus is the codec that Cleanfeed is using. I'm seeing if they actually say what the bit rates are.
Yeah, someone does have unrepenting.com.
Yeah, damn it. That would have been good.
So much for that religion.
That'd been good, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't see paying $22 a month just to have an audio connection.
I know.
I mean, that's literally like a $99 a year type thing. If that was, if they would have just come out like $99 a year, then you have the access to Cleanfeed Pro, I'd be like, boom, paid. But not $22 a month if you could even qualify. And I'm sure we could, but that's still $250 a year. No, that's way too much.
It's a lot.
Way too much. So that was deep in the weeds with the Cleanfeed talk here.
Yep.
But Zoom, and what else is everybody using? I mean, there's a lot of these, as you said. We tried Zencaster.
Yeah, there are quite a few. Yeah.
There's a lot of them. They're like, well, you'll have video even if we don't record video. And so you can see your co-host. And Gene and I were always like, what the fuck would we want to do that for?
Yeah, we don't want to look at each other.
It's not like it's going to use it for timing. Like we're going to do finger signals and hand signals. Like, okay.
Well, if X ever upgraded their audio codecs, they do have a system in place to do literally a podcast.
Well, and they have a system in place to take money too, which is going to be great.
They do. But good luck signing up for it, though. Remember, I struggled with this for several days and finally gave up.
It's got to be legal in your state. Well, okay, I know one that X has been signing up to be a bank, basically in every state. But you were trying to just promote.
I was trying to give them money, I know.
And give them your credit card, and they were like, nope. Did that ever get resolved? Or they just, do they actually take
I gave up
promotions from anybody? Or is this just
I get ads? I see ads, so they're obviously doing it.
But not promoted posts. How would you know if a post, because I've never noticed anything on X.
A promoted post is an ad.
But, okay, but so it wouldn't just be like from somebody that you're following and it would just show up higher in the algo.
No, it would just show
promoted.
up. Here's the difference.
It shows as an ad. So
when you're promoting an ad, it shows up in people that have no connection to you, but there is a connection through the types of topics that they follow. So that's where it would show up. Like I've been getting a lot of AI music ads popping up lately.
Well, because you love the AI music.
Because I love the AI music, exactly. And so I have started reaching out to these people that are paying for the ad saying, hey, tell me what kind of results you're getting with the advertising. And I'm curious what putting an ad like that does. So if you, and all the ads do is point to YouTube, like to videos. So I'm like, are they making more money off of YouTube than they're spending on X. Because if that formula works, then holy shit, man, you just buy advertising on X that points to your video that generates more revenue than what you spent. That's a money-making machine.
Yeah, if you can get people to click.
If you get people to click, right, of course.
I don't think we're that far from the world being fooled by a new artist, which ends up being AI. I know there's a lot of them out there, and you can tell that they're AI, but sooner or later it's going to happen.
This preoccupation with trying to tell if it's AI
I don't care.
Is very funny. Yeah, you don't. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But to me, it's the exact same thing that we had when gramophones were invented 200 years ago. It's this idea.
Well, only you were around to remember that, Gene.
Well, fair enough. But it was funny because it's the exact literal same reaction. People are like, well, this will never replace an orchestra. This is ridiculous. It sounds horrible. No one would ever want to listen to this when they can hear a person actually singing in person. How'd that turn out?
Recorded music has made a few dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And vinyl records,
and being a musician really makes very shit dollars. So
especially now.
Yeah,
especially now.
So honestly, the tools that we have now, and specifically, I'm using one website, which is Suno. But as I've gotten to figure out Suno,
and why Suno and not Udio? When you have
because I think the quality is better. I've tried both of them, but Suno's, I think it's better quality music. But I've now figured out the language for programming it, which is very cool. In a lot of ways, it's a very similar idea to learning how to do images, or I guess videos in some cases now as well. It's basically prompt engineering. How do you build a prompt that delivers what you're actually trying to achieve? Well,
right.
Suno has the exact same thing. They don't really tell you that. There's not, all they say is just give us a topic, we'll create a song, or give us a lyrics, and then we'll make the music for it.
Right. But the lyrics with the genre, so you can put in like heavy metal, female voice.
Exactly. But beyond that, there's a number of other things that they don't tell you to do that they absolutely recognize. So you can absolutely do prompt engineering and have it write music in exactly the way you want it to be, not just totally random.
How so? I mean, what kind of details are we talking about?
Well, you can literally control like what you wanted. Like if you understand the music theory, like formal music.
I mean, you could give it something like 12-bar blues. You can give it something like
you can give it a place a hook here. You put an outro there. You can give it all kinds of commands. I guess that's the difference, is rather than just styles and lyrics, you can also give it commands of what you're trying to achieve at that spot in the lyrics. And by doing that, by guiding it, it really goes from a novelty in my mind to no different than any of the electronic music creation tools that currently exist, that kind of sprawled from a combination of DJing and synthesizers.
Oh, yeah, because that's what a lot of popular music is now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are loops.
Loops, yeah. So,
and then you're adding a human voice. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
But once you can add a human voice that is believable,
yep,
then all bets are off. And the reality is, we know that the AIs are good at recognizing patterns, and nowhere is that more vital than in music.
Well, it's also pretty vital when it comes to the reading the bank account of the United States government.
Zero.
I think the analysis that Elon's boys are doing is turning up some fascinating things, like the fact that the U.S. government is the entity that's been funding Democrat institutions now for decades.
Oh, yeah. That's the scam.
Mm-hmm.
They've been putting the money into the things that help them get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
They put so much money into things in other countries, and everybody, if you're paying attention, has seen the list where it was like, what, 71,000 for some gay production in Ireland. There was money for trans comic books in Peru or somewhere.
The one that I have to say was a good, it actually turned out to be a very good product, was Sesame Street for Iraq.
Right. Was it like 2 million or 2 billion for that? It was a huge amount.
It was 20 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah. But
who doesn't need a Rocky Sesame Street?
It was better than our Sesame Street. That was my comment to the video. Like, holy shit, I want this. This is way better than ours. Guess what? There's no transgenders in it.
Well, no, of course.
Yeah. And, the men are all bearded.
Which is perfect for you. You're like, this is my people.
Yeah, yeah. Even Oscar sitting in his trash can's got a beard.
You would be the Oscar the Grouch character. That's you just pop up, you say something mean, and you just disappear right back.
I never say anything mean. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You're a professional troll, idiot. Welcome to Unrelenting, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazed we've made it over 100 episodes, aren't you?
It is amazing, isn't it?
It is.
What are we on, like 132?
This is, today's show would be 143.
Oof. Wow.
143.
That's pretty good. We should have done something for 133. Didn't even think about it.
Oh, well, I mean, we're not the heir apparent anymore for No Agenda.
Never were.
Found that out yesterday. Your
imagination.
I know. Well, the heir apparent, it was announced yesterday at the end of No Agenda.
No, I didn't hear. What was it?
Planet Rage.
Planet Rage.
Adam said when he's like, it's the most No Agenda like show.
Well, that is true. It is a complete blatant ripoff. That part he's absolutely right about.
And he likes it and said in 4 years when he and JCD we'll just slot Planet Rage up into the No Agenda slot and everybody
it's not Christian enough. Ain't gonna happen.
Hey, we have 4 years. 2,
you get Christian? Well, you better start getting baptized in a hurry.
2, you do understand that Larry Bleidner
he's an actual radio professional like you.
He's a radio professional, but absolutely. Besides that Larry show, what the spinoff of that Larry show is, right? It's a show called Sinner Sunday that's all about religion. Larry's a good Irish Catholic boy, just like me.
Really?
Yeah. So we fit right in. I mean, we are
you
ready.
might then. Yeah, you'd have to brush up on it, but if he's got that going on, then it might work. Yeah.
I would be the heathen, and Larry would bring us all back into the fold.
Yeah. Too bad that only like a small percentage of population can hear that low, but
I know we have to have somebody translate Larry's voice.
Maybe you'll have an AI tool by that point that can just boost the frequencies of both your voices. You need a little bit. He needs a lot.
Maybe if Cleanfeed or Zoom could actually take the voices and make them
actually clean
and make everybody can hear it.
I have to tell you this, and you're not going to believe it, but I have video evidence, or at least screenshot evidence.
Or fake video evidence.
I've gotten probably like 3 different people commenting in comments that they think I have a soothing, and another person said a godlike voice.
I mean, the soothing I can understand.
Like, people tell me they put on my YouTube videos to fall asleep.
It's the content is so exciting.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. I need to start cranking this stuff out more. But the content is video games. But the beauty of it is that is your ideal customer, because a person who's falling asleep isn't going to change your YouTube channel.
You're right.
They're going to leave it on your channel.
The video is going to keep on going.
Yeah. I'm like, hell yeah. That's the kind of shit that I want. That's what pays for big money advertising, is when it's all. So the way that YouTube measures engagement on the video is what percentage of the overall duration of the video did the person watch?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
And this has happened to me a few times lately. I was watching Linus on YouTube, and fell asleep, and like 2.5 hours later woke up and there's still Linus on the TV.
It's just like 4 shows later. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And that's why it's also very important for all you YouTube people, which probably is 0, is make sure that you always have another video set up to autoplay. Because if you don't do that, then some random channel might start autoplaying. But as long as you have one of your own videos set up for autoplay after a video ends, then they'll just keep going with more of your stuff, which is what you want.
Yeah, you got to keep them with you. But what you need to do is, I mean, you have, do you still have the 11 Labs account?
No.
Because what you need to do is train an AI with your voice that is so soothing.
Yeah.
Then download every open source lullaby, kids, fairy tale, and you could just have a channel like put your kids to sleep.
Oh my God, that's a great idea. I'm totally going to steal that.
Just cut me in.
Yeah. I'll cut you in. I'll maybe, if it gets super successful, I'll pay for your Cleanfeed subscription.
And I can only imagine the promos like, let your kids sleep with Gene. Seems wrong. Michael Jackson tried that, I think, at one point. Didn't work out. But now, I mean,
it worked out fine. What are you talking about?
He had a great time.
Nobody complained.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's a fact. And, a lot of people say, well, how the hell would parents let their kids sleep over with a grown man in the same bed?
Because nobody looked at him as a grown man.
Well, that's one thing. But the other thing is all the kids that are now adults, when interviewed, say that there was 0 touching going on. Like it's hard for normal people, I think, to imagine that somebody who doesn't want to actually have sex with a kid.
Right. Well, for Democrats anyway.
No, I mean, looking at him, like just that you look at him and you're like, well, clearly he's a pedophile. I mean, look at him. But turns out, no, he does have some weird predilections, but diddling kids apparently ain't one of them.
He had Bubbles the monkey for that.
Well, he had Bubbles. He had like a pet giraffe or something. He had
and that would be awesome. Having a pet giraffe.
I heard an interview with a doctor that accompanied a kid who was like dying of cancer or some shit, that had a wish to go meet Michael Jackson, and so the doctor was there with the kid for several days with Michael, and he said, yeah, nothing happened. Like the guy is, again, it's sort of like, I think it's sort of like looking at somebody who dresses slutty and is attractive at the same time and going, well, obviously we know what that person's going to be like.
So like Net.
I was thinking more of a hot chick, but I guess your imagination can run to wherever you want. And
hey, I'm just trolling for boost, man.
And then it turns out that, the hot looking, slutty looking dressing chick is a virgin. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, it's not statistically likely, but it is possible.
Right. It could just be.
And I think that's what we had with Michael, is that looks like a pedophile, dresses like a pedophile, has kids over to his house.
Like a pedophile,
but apparently not a pedophile.
Yeah. Well, people draw their own conclusions. They don't understand somebody's overall being. And of course, they try to make the worst out of it. And you can understand why.
Well, they were trying to steal his music. Yeah.
Net says he only dresses slutty for church. That makes sense. That could just be the girls that don't want to go to church and their family drags them, so they figure they're going to dress like Madonna, the one from the music videos, not the one from the church.
Hey, does our buddy, the microphone tester, have a list of all the stuff he's tested somewhere? Because I couldn't really find that on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he ever has put together a whole list of all the items. Bandrew, we need that. So we can have a quick reference if you're like, I'm looking for this.
He also seems to have multiple YouTube channels, which is annoying.
He does, because for different things, because One, he was smart enough to separate shorts from the main channel, because I can't tell you how many main channels I've gotten rid of because the shorts were coming up in the timeline. That's one thing that the YouTube folks haven't figured out yet. Give me a toggle that if I am subscribed to a channel, say like the Dignation channel.
Well, which of his, I can't even find his microphone channel because all his other crap is popping up in here.
Podcastage is the microphone channel.
Podcast. So it doesn't even have his name in there.
No.
Okay.
No, it's
okay. So, I could do a search.
You could. You have the technology to do a search.
I do have that. I'm going to do that as only half my brain is tied behind my back here. So,
okay, Rush. Live here on the Mighty No Agenda stream, Gene is doing a YouTube search.
That's right.
Thought for sure you would have an AI to do this by now. Maybe Apple Silicon, what do they call it? Apple Intelligence.
I have multiple Apples. That's true.
Now, if you notice, allegedly
AI-fied.
now, the Apple Intelligence, and I don't know if there are restrictions, haven't looked into it yet, on how and what you can use as the audio file, but allegedly if you record things, you can import them into Notes, and it will do what like Adobe Premiere does for me, which is it will give you a transcript and also do the AI bit of summarizing. So you could take the audio allegedly of a podcast, it would do a transcript and then spit out a summary of what was in that podcast. All included with Apple Intelligence.
That's amazing.
We'll see. And also look up while you're on the internet.
Yeah.
The wife and I were arguing. Amy, spelled normally, Amy, A-M-Y, Earnhardt, hot or not?
Okay, let's do this. Amy Earnhardt?
Yes. Wife of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Let me look at images.
Well, that would help.
He had a lot of images with some dude with a beard.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Clearly has good taste in men.
Right. Of course.
I mean, she's got a kind of a resting bitch face that's going against her.
But I mean, there's nearly nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes
she's a solid 6.
Sometimes the mean girls are okay.
She's a solid 6.
She's feisty. Now, if you could find, she was a cheerleader for the University of Kentucky. Those I haven't found the pictures, but those could be better.
What is the acronym for that? UNK?
Probably just UK.
Really? UK is not going to work. There's another university.
Or just that. Kentucky, full baby. But I thought she's fairly hot. I mean, one, again, it depends on.
She's a 6.
Wow, you are a tough grader.
She's a 6, dude. I look at a lot of women. She's a 6.
Okay, this is going to be a new segment for the show. We need a AI little jingle for it. And people can then, with boostograms of a certain amount, send in a single image, and Gene will give you a number.
You're welcome to send in many images. I don't care.
She's like, the more the better.
I mean,
UK is the correct acronym, but there are some other UKs out there. There are some others. But the wife was like, well, no, she's more like the, somebody like you would see as the lead in a Hallmark movie. And I'm like, yeah, usually those are fairly hot chicks.
Not really.
No, Gene's like, those are all 4s.
I mean,
even a 3 thrown in every now and then.
A 6 is generous for that. For Hallmark.
Yes, correct. If she is over 23, Billy Bone says the Gene score starts going down exponentially.
Not a Gene score. She has an asymmetric face. Her nose curves to the left. She has one drooping eyelid. Wait, there's a lot of plastic surgery that needs to get done on this body to make her be anything higher than a 6.
Wow. Ned's sending in a photo. Let's see. He's like,
know that I used to photograph women, right?
Well, I thought you were equal opportunity.
No.
You were like, okay, dude, get out of here.
Yeah.
Gene's like, we're going to do some boudoir photography. Shows up with the boyfriend. Gene's like, no.
Yeah, you can come back and pick her up in 3 hours.
She may be ready.
We'll be done by then.
She may not.
She'll be thirsty. Make sure you bring some water.
Yeah, I'm going higher than a 6 net. And the attitude adds to. I know for Gene, the attitude doesn't even play a part.
The attitude is a separate category that you can't dump that into. How does she look?
But it's part of being hot. Attitude, there's a certain, you got to get at least a bonus point or two.
No.
For the attitude.
No, you don't, because that attitude is a facade that has no bearing on what that person actually is like.
Okay, what if she was wearing a poncho?
So what? No, you're not going to buy me with a poncho. Doesn't make any difference. No. No, not hot.
That would be the perfect
Very
episode
average
artwork,
looking.
though, for
She's
this
not
show.
ugly. She's in good shape. She exercises, but definitely not hot.
Billy Bone says if she drives a pickup, that's worth 2 points.
You're not going to get to drive her pickup, dude. So don't even think about it.
You're not even be able to get in the back. I mean, that is quite obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was just saying, these are the kind of arguments you get into with your wife when you watch YouTube videos.
I remember those arguments. Absolutely.
And you never win them. I mean, you may feel like you won them.
I'm trying to actually remember. It's been so long now since I was married. It's been like 15 years. So I'm trying to remember which side did I usually fall on? She's hotter or she's less hot than you think? Because
you're like, well, what does she want to hear? Were you honest, or did you try to play the game?
Shit what she wanted to hear. Hence, I'm divorced.
Right? This makes sense.
I believe in truth above everything else, so that's part of the deal. But
which is why you posted Grok's roasting of you, which was wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good, right?
Yeah, mine was shorter because I have less on X, I think, than than you do.
But I mean, it was definitely brutal. There's no two ways about that. It's it calls out a lot of things, not necessarily true, but certainly things that you would hear in a actual roast called out.
Well, now, was this part of you saw somebody else do this, so you jumped in? This was just...
I was using Grok and I saw a button that says, "You want me to roast you?"
Okay,
I was like, sure.
You're the kind of guy who thinks his IQ is 187, but can't figure out why his tweets about bringing back the $1,000 bill aren't trending. Do you have posts about the $1,000 bill?
Yes, several times. It's bullshit that we don't have them.
You've got the facial hair of a philosopher, but the content of your post suggests you might be using that beard to hide your chin's disappointment in your tweeting choices.
Yeah.
Wow, it was kind of mean.
The whole thing's mean. That's the point of it. It's supposed to be mean.
You complain about government employees, but seem to forget you need them to, run the country while you're busy retweeting videos of husky puppies meeting kittens. Oh, wait, you do puppies and kitten videos too?
Well, clearly you don't follow me, so you wouldn't know, would you? No, I every time I do a kittens and puppies video, I send it to JCD.
And Grok is obviously English because it says you're so concerned about illegal immigrants being deported while simultaneously advocating for less government oversight. Make up your mind, mate. Or maybe it's Aussie. Is Grok in English or Aussie? Because it's certainly not American, because no American uses mate.
South African. Jesus Christ.
Elon made it South African. Do they say mate in South Africa?
They do, yeah.
Although one of the most hottest women in the world come from South Africa. That would be Candice Swanepoel.
How do you spell that? Well, we'll see if she's hot or not.
Swaneopoel. Swanepoel. If you type in Candice Swan, they'll know. Let's talk about your profile pic. It's the only thing green about you. Your politics are
green in my profile. That one I didn't understand because there's nothing green in my profile pic at all.
It's true. Your politics are more like a traffic jam of contradictory bumper stickers. You dream of Trump's approval like it's the ultimate validation, but buddy, even he might think twice about retweeting your love letters to him. So here's to you, Sir Gene, the man who thinks he's a political pundit but ends up sounding more like a confused uncle at Thanksgiving dinner. Keep tweeting, though. The world needs its entertainment. So Even Grok still calls it tweeting.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's like it's X now.
Keep Xing?
Keep Xing, yes. Keep posting, keep trying, keep doing something.
So I'm looking at this chick. She's got an 8 face and I'd say a 9.5 body.
Now you're looking at, is it a current one? Because she is getting older now. So
I'm looking at a whole bunch of her older photos here.
Hard to beat. I mean, you would notice. I mean, that's not one you're like, yeah, for.
She's got a very good body, but her face is not outstanding. There are definitely much prettier faces out there in modeling.
Now, I did the roast me thing as well.
How's yours?
Yeah, for instance, Adriana Lima. Gorgeous back in the day.
Back in the day, for about a 3-year period, she was quite hot. Did not age well.
The grok is shorter for mine. It says, Darren, you're really out here championing no agenda like it's the Rosetta Stone of media literacy. But let's be real. Your devotion is starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist version of a podcast infomercial. You're so deep in the ITM cult that you're probably waking up at 3 a.m. just to yell boost at your phone. I did wake up at 3, but I had to pee. I'm old. While you're busy trolling the internet with your rock and troll pre-show, the rest of us are wondering if you've even considered that maybe, just maybe, the M5M isn't the only thing distorting reality. Your oversized glasses and that red radiating background in your profile pic are doing a solid job of that too. And of course, the picture is a me as a Funko. So interesting. Keep rocking pre-show, guy, but maybe take a break from the mic and let somebody else handle the folk for a change. So way less mean than the one for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You make the AI mad. Of course, it's not really mad, and it doesn't have a consciousness, and it really doesn't know.
Well, I've got 10,000 posts on X in the last 2 years.
That's a lot. That is a lot. Let me see. What do I have? I have, this is their total posts somewhere. How many? I do have 3,759 followers. How many followers do you have?
25.
Total 25?
I think so.
They're like, we'd like to stick with Gene, but no. Well,
I get a lot of new followers, but they don't last.
Oh, like relationships.
Exactly.
Wives. They come, they go. They come, they go. You have 685 followers. Wow, that's up. 1 subscription. Just to goodoldboys.com. GOB. Right. I mean, I see it's nice that you're trying to promote the Grumpy Old Ben's show.
Yeah, whatever.
Just to goodoldboys.com. Where's the representation of Searching Speaks? Where's the representation of the Unrelenting show? Don't see any of that in this.
They only let you have one link.
I don't see all this in the timeline, but you can change your profile. The background is nothing. It's blank. Why don't you put your multiple shows up in there?
It's because I haven't created an image to do something.
You have a grok. You have an AI. You can do anything.
Do you really want a grok version of what Unrelenting looks like? Because it ain't going to be flattering.
Pfeiffer says you need a link tree. Oh yeah, where can we find the gene? All over the internet. It's all the question there. Let's see. Troll count 56. Wow, that's 56 more than I thought. So there's 56 people listening live with all the bots thrown in right now. We did have a few boosts, so I wanted to make sure we got those in before it was like the last minute of the show.
Because people do complain.
I know. Right as we were leaving the show, Dreb Scott had his 777. He said, my Drobo is sitting under my desk. I need to power it up again and maybe convert my closet full of DVDs.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, if you actually keep that shit powered off long enough, it will die.
And I want to know where Dreb is in the world. He says, one of the reasons I stopped was that I realized it was costing me about $20 per spinning drive per month on electricity. That's
a lot more than I pay.
Yeah. I mean, I pay it's usually about $150 a month, and I'm running more computers than I can actually, I can count them. There are 4 main computers running right now. There are 3 main NASs. There are 2 external parts of the NAS. There are 3 big monitors, and then the air conditioning runs when it's the summertime, and I still don't have anywhere near. He's on the West Coast, according to Billy Bones, so maybe it is just a California thing.
Wow.
That your electricity is so high that it's unbelievable.
That's insane. Yeah.
But I like the Drobo. I like the concept. I know this thing's going to die at some point. I know the company is long gone. I'm kind of surprised that nobody has gone in and figured out the system and come up with new software for the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not seen. If anybody knows, if anybody has accomplished that as of yet, I'd be interested to know. But the reality is we all want to move to a device, a NAS with a bunch of M2 drives. I noticed there was one from, I think it was TerraMaster, that it was $800, but it would fit 8 M2 drives, which isn't horrible.
Yes, and I'm going that route. And dude named Ben.
I like that guy. He hasn't donated to the show in a while, although I haven't heard his show.
That's a good point. You should talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But we were talking about NASs, and because you and I have been talking about also upgrading to M2 NASs. So, and then he sends me a link. He's like, I'm thinking of buying this thing. And it's like, it's a new version, but it's an old school NAS. It's like 6 regular hard disks. I'm like, why would you buy that? That makes no sense to me. If you're going to buy any NAS in 2025.
Well, it's cheaper, but otherwise.
It's $680.
But the drives, so your price per terabyte.
Well, right. Drives are cheaper. Yes, that's a good point. But apparently this NAS that he sent me, and I'll send you a link to it as well if you want to look at it, but it has AI features in the NAS.
Oh, so it can spy on you.
But I'm like, okay, that just seems silly to pay money for a NAS with AI when I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it depends what the AI is supposed to do, because for a NAS, I use the very bare bones basic. I just want it to be there so I can store music, movies, television shows, and backups. That's it. I don't need a lot of people want it to be able to run different Dockers, different containers so they can run things. I've never really done that.
I've done that on my NAS, and that's what killed off my first wallet, because I was running it in the Docker, and then the NAS crashed. And so much
now,
for that.
Of course, NetNet points out he's been seeing a lot of M2 drive failures over the last 5 years, which is the issue. You know, it's a question of...
Yeah, if you buy cheap shit, you will have issues, for sure.
Like the same thing with the normal metal drives as well. If you stick to well-known, reputable brands, they will predictively tell you way before it fails. For AI-powered video and image recognition applications, what does that even mean?
I think it's basically if you want to have AI-powered video and image recognition.
I think I've looked at this one. I like the QNAP. The QNAP is my main NAS system, and I like it. It works. The software does what it's supposed to do. It's not as hand-holding as the... What's a Synology? But
Synology's got very powerful software, and so if you understand computers a little bit, Synology is going to be your best bet. The QNAP is more like it's dumb stupid. Like anybody can use this thing.
It just works. I mean, that's what I like about it.
It just works exactly.
And it also comes with free 16 gigabytes of cloud storage. What the fuck is that going to 16 gig?
I don't know.
Now, if it was 16 terabyte, I'm with you. What's fucking 16 gig?
I guess the configuration or something
for your NAS backup? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand what they're actually trying to sell. And they don't really even try to do it. Because normally they've got, your big bullshit. Bemro says it's all marketing bullshit. You can tell by the AI powered part. Yes.
I know, right?
Now, I guess they're talking about the comprehensive surveillance solution. I know a lot of people use these devices if they have cameras.
I used to have my NAS run all the cameras in the house, but it just, you're storing terabytes and terabytes of video footage, most of which is just not interesting.
Supports neon technology that accelerates video processing for a better media experience.
Super duper.
But a 6 bay device isn't bad. I mean, I go back to, and I don't even know what the pricing is or who's making what now because everything is changing. But I always liked the idea of having one NAS that had like 24 drives in it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you still need to back up everything that's on that because if that thing gets hit by lightning or something, then, it's the backup to the backup to the backup.
So there's a 4 bay SSD thingy that I see here that fits under a Mac Mini. That's kind of neat. You could have
that
4
was
bays
the old Mac Mini because those were a little bigger.
Let me look, see which one it fits under.
But the little
117 millimeters, so probably the old one.
Yeah, the little one that external device I have that fits one M2 fits very easily on top of a
right, and there's no way that could fit 4 M2s in there.
No,
not enough room. Yeah,
well,
this probably fits
heat.
Mine. Then this would fit under mine.
You got the old Mac Mini.
I do,
where it's now the Mac Chunky.
Mac Chunky, yes. Or for $434, you could get the 6 bay all SSD NAS storage from As You Store, which I've seen videos of, and people think it's pretty damn good. And it's gone down in price a little bit. If it drops to like $399, I might pick one up.
You got to have a place for all your stuff.
Well, I would love to just get rid of my Synology and just have, SSDs.
Here's a build your own Ned sent here, the Argon EON Pi NAS. Oh, I'm guessing this thing is powered by a Pi.
Probably.
Build your own network attached storage takes advantage of natural heat conductivity. Let's see here. Programmable, I would hope. 4 bay SATA hard drive ports that can fit 2 3.5-inch drives, and 2 2.5-inch. That's still too small. Too small. I mean, it's good for people that just want to do.
Well, 6 SSDs feels like that's the minimum that I would do.
The more, the merrier. And they'll start getting.
They also
cheaper.
have a 12 bay, but that's too expensive. $775 for the 12 bay. It's probably not even a bad price for it. It's just more than I want to spend on an empty NAS.
Well, that's the other thing. It does add up very quickly.
Yeah, but of course that version, the $700 version, has a 10 gig Ethernet port, which
I would hope so. And then you look at what okay, if you want to get quality 8 terabyte SSD drives, and you want to put like 6 of those in a machine, I mean, what are you up to? Like $5,000? Which, to be fair,
I remember
buying our earliest desktops, which were $3,000, $3,500.
Well, forget about that. Just my current NAS, when I bought the drives for it, which are, I think, mostly 4 terabyte drives, those were comparable, if not more than 4 terabyte SSDs today.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the reality is I should look at my current NAS systems and go, can I replace the 4 terabyte drives with 12 or 24 and then would have more than enough storage?
I mean, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is I've realized I don't need all this crap, so let me just get a SSD NAS that takes up a lot less space, which would be more of what I'd be leaning towards.
Yeah, but I'm a hoarder.
Yeah, you are.
We also had a couple of boosts from Speedy Bubble. I like Speedy Bubble. He came in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what we call a legit boost.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Sir Gene, do you leave your iPads charging constantly? I know the chargers are supposed to prevent overcharging, but I don't think that's always worked perfectly. I've had the same screen separation happen with an Android tablet. Also, I had it happen with the Nexus 4 phone, but it was in a closed area that was probably overheated as well. Just curious, I've never had an iPad separate.
Yeah, so yes and no. I have had one iPad separate that was permanently plugged in. It was just sitting on my desk. It's also my oldest of the iPad Pros that I had this happen to. And it's only been iPad Pros. It's not been normal iPads. So I think the Pros tend to run hotter. They have the nice screens that are 120 hertz refresh.
Yeah, well, I have the first version of the iPad Pro, and it's old, and it has not separated.
So when you say first, you mean the big one, the 13-inch?
Yes.
I still have that same thing, first version. It's never separated. No, I have the second version. I remember because a buddy of mine got it before me.
And you were pissed.
And I was pissed, but I was smart enough to wait for the Gen 2s to come out before I spent the money. That was like a $1,600 device.
They weren't cheap. I mean, I don't think it was 16, but it was.
Well, I didn't get enough RAM.
I also don't do cellular, and I'm sure it's the smallest amount of disk space.
Yeah. And I get the bigger one.
You are big. You love it big.
But it is still sitting in my kitchen. It is my kitchen YouTube watching iPad.
Well, you have to have somewhere to watch YouTube in every room.
So get this. So it's been permanently plugged in for many years, probably like 6 or 7 years. And all of a sudden it started not charging. So
even when it needed to.
So, what I noticed is like it had like 20% battery, and I'm like, that's weird. It's plugged in and should have 100%
battery dead.
And so I thought, well, the battery's probably dead or something. That makes sense. It's a really old iPad. The battery lasts about 2 minutes by itself, and it's been that way for a long time. So it's obviously completely useless.
Well, I did that with an Apple laptop as well. Left it plugged in downstairs in the basement at my old podcast, and I just left it down there for 2 years without touching it.
Yeah,
it was still fine, but
so I thought, well, just try it. Let me plug it into a different adapter. Plugged it into a different adapter. Boom, charged 100%.
Boom, shakalaka.
So I took. Apparently, what did die is my Apple charger from 8 years ago. Finally gave up its ghost.
What are you doing, Apple?
I bought a new charger, plugged it in, works like a champ. So it's back in the kitchen. But that iPad is big enough that I think it dissipates the heat. So it never delaminated. But I also had an iPad that was not permanently plugged in, and it was my most recent one up until the one I bought 6 months ago. So the one that delaminated before that was probably a year and a half old, maybe probably 2 years by the time it delaminated. But that thing I was using all the time, and I was only charging it when it needed to get charged. It was my bedroom iPad, so that's the one that I would, surf the web. That was where you would record your OnlyFans stuff on. That's
no,
don't do that on the iPad. They have a Pro Studio for that.
Oh, sorry.
So that one would have only gotten charged when it was totally empty, and then unplugged from charging, and that started delaminating. So I don't know, man. I think that there's some quality control issues they've had, but I think all of them are related to heat one way or another. So whether, because you got to remember in Texas here, like if I go outside with the iPad because I'm grilling or something.
Well, don't put the iPad on the grill.
It's 118 degrees outside.
Then you're going inside and it's 43.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the air conditioning is running at full.
Air conditioning is running at full right now, dude.
Cotton Gin is making fun of you for being a person who has an iPad in every room. He has multiple iPads in every room. You have to have a backup.
Can I make fun of him for being a person who doesn't have an iPad in every room?
Sure, that's good. Okay. That's good.
That'd be fair.
And again, thanks to Speedy Bubble for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is like $12, which is like a real boost. We should teach people that that's the real boost amount.
Yeah.
But he came in with the second one and said,
Bitcoin went down, by the way.
It's going up. It's going down. It's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he says, I'd like to make this host a switcheroo.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I want to credit it to CSB, so you'll give him a break about not donating enough next episode.
Well, as long as there's people that are donating on behalf of CSB, I guess that raises his minimum or something.
That's better than CSB, yeah. He always wants to be like, did you get my boost? Just like, it's $3. It either got here or it didn't. You're making me spend too much time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you've got to read my thing. And I'm like, no, there's no guarantees. This is how Bemrose got rid of CSB too. It was like, it's nice that you want to donate and we appreciate it. But it doesn't guarantee your note's going to get read. Well, if my notes are not getting read, I will not.
Well, and that's fair. I mean, I told CSB the same thing. I'm like, look, if you don't feel like you're happy, don't donate.
Right.
You know, I mean, I've never donated to Darren.
Never.
Actually, that's not true. I did actually once. I think I sent a donation for one of your dumb show.
Random thoughts.
Random. That's right. You know what
Which I let the AI program this latest episode.
Okay. Interesting.
And the interesting thing was it gave me 4 topics, all which were probably the main topics that have been discussed over 300 and some odd episodes. So it was like, 1, it's not good at coming up with something unique, but it's very good.
What? AI's not creative? What is this? I can't believe you're saying that.
You will notice that with all, it's like it's good at taking a bunch of data and finding patterns, at finding things like that. One, there was this should be a Grumpy Old Ben's episode, Bemrose, when you got time. The AI created work, no matter how long your prompt is. The courts, as of now in the United States, have ruled there is never any copyright protection on AI-generated art.
Correct. You know why? Because your prompt is literally a record of you reading off a menu.
But here's the other thing, and I find this to be funny, and I haven't seen this discussed anywhere, but I haven't looked far and wide into the discussions on this.
Yeah.
The text that you come up with for the prompt is copyrightable. But the image itself that it will create is not.
So, yes and no. I mean, strictly speaking, yes, the image is not copyrightable. However, any change you make to the image to make it unique makes it copyrightable. That's very easy. Just open it up in Photoshop, press a button, and you're done.
Well, here's my other question.
But hold on. I didn't finish with the text portion. Your text, your text is not copyrightable if it doesn't include anything unique. And what I mean by that is if your text is simply, like, for example, draw Donald Trump, like, you can't copyright those several words and then have an enforceable copyright on that.
Right. There is a certain amount.
Unique.
But if you come up with a paragraph describing something, that's copyrightable. Because anything you write beyond a title, I mean, you could write a poem that could be draw Donald Trump. He's so hot. Orange man love, come back for more. That's copyrightable. I mean, it's idiotic, but it's copyrightable. I don't think it's strictly copyrightable.
The idea that you can see, this is It depends is the answer.
Which is where the courts love it.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is because not everything you write is copyrightable, and not even everything long you write is copyrightable. There have been plenty over the course of the copyright laws in this country, plenty of instances of copyrights being denied for various reasons. And one of which is, if you copyright something that a whole bunch of people all came up with, it's not a unique enough thing to copyright. And so there's like titles is a good example, right? Why are titles not copyrightable? It's literally for that reason, because
they're too short.
No, they don't have to be. You can have a title that's 25 words.
But overall, I mean, so somebody writes a song called Born to Run.
Yeah.
And you can't be like, well, no song can ever be called this.
Yeah.
You can't be using the same title, even though it's totally different. It's like that just isn't the way. Now it can be confusing because every now and then I've pulled up a track that I thought was something totally else, else because same title.
Movies, books.
True.
They can all have the same names.
Yes. So be very careful before you place that order on Alibaba. You might be getting something completely different.
Yeah. Well, and I've been advocating for this for many years, that we really need to have an update to the U.S. Trademark Office and copyright system, because they're both based on really 1800s mentalities.
Well, and that's where my question would be now with the technology that we have.
Yeah.
How do you prove that an image was created by AI and not by another one of these digital content creation
There's
systems?
Literally no way to do it.
Which means you can say that something created by an AI can't be copyrighted, but how do you know? It's going to be the same for images. It's going to be the same for text.
Yeah, you really don't know. And all the people that claim to be able to, well, I've got a tool that tells me if something was written by AI.
Yeah, I've noticed Grammarly does that now. I know you hate Grammarly because they're a bunch of Ukrainian Nazis or something like that. Allegedly, just saying this is comedy. Do not take it seriously.
Yeah,
and kick me off YouTube. Already late, too late, gone. But that's part of their system now is show.
Did you stop uploading to YouTube?
Well, no, it's still there. And I noticed the other day on my YouTube and in the Roku, the YouTube app, that it was recommending Unrelenting to me.
Nice.
I'm like, fucking, hey, I like that show. I'm like, I'm surprised it's still there because it was one of them that we talked about things that we were like, wow, YouTube is not going to like this.
That is surprising, yeah.
Not going to like this. But this is going to be the next thing then, which will be somebody will copyright something and people will be like, no, that's AI. And the person will be like, no. And then
remember, Amazon did a patent for a one-click button.
Right. Oh, yeah. And people were like, fuck you. That is just
which was clearly done by others before Amazon.
Well, and it was going to be the natural progression of things. So you can't give a patent to something that's like, hey, this we're going to make it a button rather than a switch. Oh, yeah, totally different. No. But how you're going to be able to prove whether things are, or I could just imagine somebody creating this fantastical image with Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever tool they like, and then being denied the copyright. Like, no, that's AI. And like, fuck you, that's not AI. I created that.
Yep.
Like, how are you going to know? And the prices went up to, I think it's $29 a month for Adobe's Teacher and Student Edition.
Oh, well, thank God. I mean, it's amazing how they've been just giving it away for free for so many years.
I know. Well, I just went to B&H and bought another year for $240. And I think they go on sale at like Black Friday, but that's not what I normally renew, so I always forget it.
Yeah.
So somebody remind me this year.
I do. Every fucking year I remind you.
But never the
And you're like, oh, I already have mine.
Right, but never for you give me the one for the normal one, which is still more than I pay. I need the teacher and student one.
Yeah.
Because I'm a teacher.
I think, well, the thing that they really clearly don't bother tracking is if you're actually a student or teacher, because if they did.
Well, they do. Because I
don't think they do.
I'm using an account that is a teacher's account. That's a friend of ours that doesn't care about Adobe. Just said, okay, here.
Oh, so you're buying it in her name? You're logging in as her to buy it? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, that's different. I thought you just were pretending to be a student, which is what most people do.
Which I should, because I am a student of this.
And here's what's so stupid is, or not, it's stupid for me, is I never bothered keeping my college email.
Right.
And that is the main method that they've used. Yeah.
Oh, you have an EDU, and some of these colleges are like, give us $5 a year and you can keep your.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, as an alum, you can keep your college student email. I'm like, fuck yeah, I should have done that, but I didn't.
That way you can be picking up on all the college girls.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they meet you and they're like, are you like somebody's dad?
Uh-huh.
Maybe a professor. Jeez, I guess I am.
At this point, are you somebody's granddad?
Right. Great granddad. For my birthday coming up in April.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Vox promised me a happy double Nicole birthday. I mean, I guess it was spell checked from double nickel, but I'm like, a double Nicole birthday sounds like a lot of fun.
You getting one of them double Nicoles? Even.
Yes. Yes. Not just one Nicole, but two.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I always thought that was one of the wildest sex acts out there. So that's pretty good.
Now, the Remero says twins. I mean, can you imagine parents having twins and naming them both the same thing? That would just be mean. I mean, it's easier. You never mix them up.
It'd be easy to remember. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm Nicole. This is my sister, Nicole. It's kind of like that Daryl and Daryl thing.
Yeah. My other brother, Daryl.
Right. It all comes around.
Mm-hmm. That was a great show, man. It was
Newhart. Oh, yes.
You had to have the mental age of a 50-year-old back in the day to really appreciate the humor on that show, but it was a great show.
Well, Bob Newhart was a master with timing.
Yeah.
With the kind of humor that it does take a second for some people to get.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, it's an excellent show if you can find it. Kind of like Miami Vice. It might be harder to find now.
Yeah, that's troo.
And we actually have to credit CSB with a $12 donation. This is probably
a real donation.
Yeah, wow. I know. It's like, wow, over $3. Woo! Like, come on, CSB.
Mm-hmm.
Unless CSB, do you want to donate?
How are you? So he donated $12 after saying he's done donating?
No, Speedy Bubble donated the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4
so Speedy
CSB.
Bubble's donation.
And we have to credit it to CSB, right?
In the name of CSB. Yeah.
So if you want to donate in the name of CSB or anybody else, just go.
Yeah. At least $12. Just that's all you got to do.
Into a podcasting 2.0 app. Find Unrelenting. It's not hard. And boost. Boost big. Boost now. I dare you. Nobody ever boosts.
Or
nobody,
PayPal.
And nobody streams. There's the Planet Rage. We always have people streaming the show. It's been over 3 weeks since anybody has streamed Satoshis to Unrelenting.
I never understood that concept to begin with, honestly.
Well, where it doesn't work is when there's a lot of splits, because the person at the end of the splits usually gets 0 because it's doing this. And this is, I know one of the things you and I talked about early on was the concept of somebody streaming, say 10 Satoshis a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when this is split using 100% and somebody is, say, getting 5%.
Right.
Well, that's under a Satoshi that's going to go to that person, which means they're going to get 0 because there is no way to do partial Satoshis. So the reality was the best thing any of these things could have done, these apps that are allowing for these streaming Satoshis, wait until it hits a minimum.
That was my suggestion from literally from the creation of this system.
Yes. Wait until it hits 1,000. Right.
Yeah, you need to aggregate. And Adam was adamant that he wanted instant transfers. That's what makes it cool and unique.
Well, that works fine if there's 1 or 2 people that are in the split.
or it works fine if people are doing. And I said, well, and I suggested this. I say, make the minimum 100 per minute then.
Yeah.
If you do 100 per minute, then your smallest unit is 1%.
Yes.
But that works out.
Yes.
But if you make your minimum nothing,
right, 5,
and somebody sends 10, and you have a number of people that are all set up for 1%, at least back then, I don't know what's doing now, but back then, each of those 1%ers would actually get 10%. Yes. And then the actual host gets 70% instead of 97%. I was like, hold up here, because I have no idea what it's currently doing. I haven't looked. But it used to be that it would round up, not down.
And Cotton Gin says you can do fractions of Satoshis. Is that true? He also just sent in 30.
Used to be able to.
He also just sent in 3333 with the eyeball emoji. So thank you for the boost.
What's that mean?
I don't know. Just eyeballs, like it's looking. But it was $3 in sats. So, I mean, that was like CSB, but better. Because we didn't have to read 8,000 pages.
Donate on the behalf of Cotton Gin.
Yes.
To raise his donation to the minimum $12, feel free to do that.
Yeah, so just come in. Help Cotton Gin out.
Mm-hmm.
He's
donate on his behalf. Gin. CSB, you want to jump in?
Yeah, CSB, come on, buddy. Jump on in. We know you're listening. He's like, I like listening to you. I take it. See, he says he naps during the show, so maybe it is your voice.
It's my soothing voice. I'm telling you, it is weird. Well, there's a couple of things, and don't get me wrong. I enjoy compliments. I'm not one of these people that doesn't like compliments.
No, I'll take compliments all day long. That's the ego thing that we talked about earlier.
However, it is weird at just the number of people that are telling me they think I have like the best voice in this particular game, YouTube. Like, really? Because I don't think my voice is all that great.
Well, I would agree. I mean, I'm with you.
There you go.
I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, nope, not the best at all. Nope, probably not even the, I mean, better than Bemrose. I mean, we'll give you that.
That's not hard.
Yeah, Bemrose, he's like, he like rolls his chair over the cat and the cat screeches. I just think he's saying something. I don't know.
Yeah. Does he take his cat along with him on his drives every day?
Just one of them. I mean, that way, no mice in the truck.
Oh, nice.
Most saw blades sound better than Bemrose, and that is according to Sir Bemrose.
Wow, that's a low blow there.
Yeah, get into the troll room at noagenda.stream, and then you can insult yourself.
Yeah.
Or somebody else. It all depends what you're into.
Yeah. And then
Gene is a 3 on a 10 scale, says NetNet, as far as your voice being soothing. So
that's deaf, so that makes total sense.
He's from Detroit. It's all that bullets flying around.
Or something.
Could be
the water too.
Oh, he's like, we're talking about Gene's voice. I'm sorry. He just thought Gene was a 3. He thought we were back to rating photos.
Dude, with my beard, I'm way more than a 3.
Which you can't include the beard. That's like including an attitude.
No, that's including hair. Hair is always included.
Hair is always a part of the deal?
Yeah.
What about the lack thereof?
Yeah, that's part of the deal too. I mean, there's not many chicks that can pull off bald, but
no,
remember that chick from Star Trek?
The
movie?
Chick from Star Trek.
That chick from Star Trek, the movie.
The movie, the original movie?
Who was bald.
No.
The original movie from the 1980s. They had a bald alien chick on there. She could pull it off.
Pfeiffer says,
you seriously don't remember that?
For guys, it's not the beard, it's the bank. That's true for so many women.
That's what all the guys without beards say.
No, I don't remember the original Star Trek movie.
Yeah, look up Star Trek, the movie.
Star Trek, the movie. Have you found a Miami Vice yet?
I haven't started looking yet because I'm still in the middle of watching Community. I'm, watching it at the same time as.
You're watching with Ben, so it's like a little. Everything's a little.
Yeah.
Gay.
Well, it's super gay because, we're both watching the episodes, and then I'm usually a few episodes ahead. I'm like, oh, you're gonna like this one, and he's like, wearing something very. Yeah. So, Star Trek the movie. Go to images, and she's the bald chick.
She's the bald chick as opposed to
She's the only bald chick.
Now let's see. Star Trek. There's the TV.
You literally
series.
can type in bald chick and it'll show you the chick from Star Trek.
I mean, why when I go to IMDb and type in Star Trek that it doesn't even give?
I don't know why you would go to IMDb. Here, I'll send you a
so it's Star Trek the motion picture.
Oh, instead of the movie? I thought it was the movie. Okay.
No, it says Star Trek the motion picture. Oh yeah, there's the bald chick.
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
Really?
No.
She was Voyager. She was the chick that came out of Voyager.
Do not recall.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming I saw this at some point, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's possible I never did. I mean, I remember seeing The Wrath of Khan, which was the second one, right? Maybe I never saw the original movie. I mean, it was back in the day before that we had, video and it showed up on TV and so possible. Maybe we need to do a rewatch on the Star Trek, the movie.
Yeah.
Tom Tomsky says, I don't recall her either. Not worthy.
You got to be kidding me. Really?
That's what he says.
What year did that come out? 79?
1979. I was 9.
Okay.
Niner.
Okay.
Niner. You were 46.
Niner.
Yes, you were 46 at the time.
Something like that, yeah.
Niner. 79, which was 2 years after Star Wars, which I certainly saw.
Right.
Star Trek obviously wasn't the big draw.
No.
I mean, it was rated G too, so it was definitely going for on the heels of Star Wars.
Yeah. Was Star Wars G?
Yeah, I think so. The original, wasn't it?
Yeah, violence.
Doesn't all these space things have?
Yeah, that's why they're all PG. I don't think there is a G.
The first Star Trek is.
Well, I mean.
And also when I type in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, here's A New Hope. It's like it only shows very few things. That's weird. It was PG, yes. Star Wars was PG.
That's what I thought.
An 8.6 star rating on IMDb. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. Carrie Fisher is Princess Leia Organa.
Such a porn name.
Princess Leia Organa.
Leia Organa.
Organa sounds a lot like Orgasma.
And Leia sounds a lot like Leia.
Like Leia, right. You want a Leia? Of course.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Lucas in Love?
No.
Or George Lucas in Love?
I don't think so.
It was hilarious. It's basically a parody movie from I think 2000.
It's a short, 1999.
It's 90. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a short movie.
8 minutes long.
But really, I thought it was like 30 minutes. But it essentially is based on Shakespeare in Love, the movie. Did you see that? So Shakespeare in Love came out probably before George Lucas in Love, I would assume.
Otherwise, the other one was like, I'm ripping this off.
Yeah, totally. But Shakespeare in Love was basically shot from a perspective of, Shakespeare or a person living in that time, to where all of Shakespeare's stories are really just shit that he's telling from his actual life. So he wasn't super creative. He just wrote down shit that happened to him.
Well, that's what most authors do, isn't it?
Yes, but you kind of...
You embellish a little, I hope.
Yeah. So the idea was that all the characters in Shakespeare were literally people that were friends of his or people he hated and had, a bad relationship with, whatever. So they took the same idea for George Lucas in Love. And, it's got 7.6 on the IMDb for an 8-minute short. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a preview, which is like 8 minutes long. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So they basically did the same thing for Lucas, to where, Leia was this girlfriend that he was trying to bang. And obviously he's Luke.
Oh, of course.
But this girl would treat him like he was a friend or a brother and not like a love interest, because he had this other guy who was very cool, who was like the Han Solo character, you know? So it just deconstructs the original Star Wars into the way that a college student would write about his personal life and relationships. And I guess that's the other bit, is that it's not just, yes, all authors take bits from their real lives, but in this case, this is like, you know, young George Lucas or young William Shakespeare.
So now when you watched Star Wars as a kid,
yeah,
did you want to be Luke or did you want to be Han? Where did you?
Han, obviously.
Well, yeah, way more fun, right?
I always shoot first.
That's why you're also not married.
I used to be.
Then they found out that you always shoot first. They're like,
that's right.
Nope. Just like Greedo, they are gone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Really, Luke just always seemed like boring. You know, just
or a moron or a dick, depending on which period of the movies you're in.
And now we know in real life he is all of those things.
He is all of those things, literally, exactly. So it was not much of a stretch for him to play Luke.
No, Han Solo, much better character.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to hang out with Chewie?
I wouldn't. Do you know how bad that thing smells?
That thing. I mean, Chewie can take a shower.
Has he ever? No.
I don't. Is this what you were hoping for in a Star Wars movie? We know this
for a fact. Chewie's never taken a shower.
Gene's like, if only they would show the Wookiee in the shower. That is all I need.
Now I know exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, I know. You get out of the shower and you see the mirror. You're like, oh, got more hair than Chewbacca.
Got to unclog the drain again.
Yeah, that's true. You'd have to have those
every week.
The little things that keep the hair out of the drains.
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you just like when you shower up, do you take a big shower cap and you stuff the beard into that? How do you go about all this?
How you wash the beard? You know, this is the funny thing is like all the shit that women do to their hair. I don't understand it. I've never understood it because I do nothing special to the beard at all. And yet I get compliments, especially from black women on the beard.
You get a lot of compliments. Where are you when you normally get the compliments? At the burger joint at the barbecue place while wearing your BLM
sometimes
shirts? Yeah.
Yes.
It might be that.
And it's always like, oh, I love your beard.
You're like, what
thank
else
you, black
would you
lady.
love? Is that okay? That would be a video I would watch on YouTube. I like your beard. Thank you, black woman. It'd be like, what? What did he just say? Yeah. These are the kind of videos you need. Just that's like the
and half the time, not all the time, but half the time after saying something like that, they're like, "Can I touch it?"
You're like, "Can I touch?" It reminds me of the video. There was a black midget little person. What do they like to be called now? I want to be very, very unoffensive.
Dwarf. They like to be called dwarf.
A black dwarf who was like, I lost my dog. And then this, normal sized white dude, maybe 20, like, oh, what's wrong? The guy's like, I lost my dog. Can you help me find it? And the guy's like, sure. What's its name? And the name was N-word, of course.
Okay.
I'm like, now this is comedy. We should be able to joke about such things, not be like, oh no, if you utter that wrong word, you're going to be canceled. You see, cancel culture seems to be going away.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if it does.
Thank you, Donald Trump. He wants to make Gaza into a resort. This guy's a freaking genius. Genius, I tell you. People don't understand how he does his negotiating. Because he doesn't really want to do that. But I think he's hoping that Saudi Arabia or somebody like that goes, oh, shit, that's a great idea. We could build a resort here.
Yeah, I think if he pulls that off, man, that'll be awesome. Because he's using something that's never been used in thousands of years, which is money.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, well, we have the wrong people on the wrong piece of land here.
Well, he says we can bring them all back once it is built, because they could be
we're not going to bring them back. Nobody.
They could be the poor employees. No, we need employees.
We need employees.
You know, for the casinos, we need somebody.
They're going to live in Egypt and then go work in the resorts. They're not going to live in the fucking resorts.
No, they're going to have a camp right outside the resorts. It's going to be like Disney World. You ever see like the accommodations for the people that
underground?
Like, live?
They're going to live underground.
Probably.
Like Disney employees.
Yeah, like in like little mini. What do you call these cubicle things that you can go rent now in some of these countries? Yeah. Like, well, you can come and you can work as the masseuse. You can come work. You can do people's nails. You can probably come do sexual activities. But no. You'll get paid well.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get paid better than you are now. And guess what? Shit won't blow up. That would be the biggest draw for living there. Shit will not blow up because you'll have somebody in charge that if the terrorists want to fuck with them, will be like, nope. I also like Donald Trump's. I've left very specific instructions. If Iran assassinates me, they're fucking gone. I think that's just fantastic.
Well, I mean, there's no downside to saying that, is there?
No, because if it doesn't happen, yay, you're not dead.
Yeah.
And if it does happen, then it gives J.D. Vance the job of pressing that button and going, yeah, let's just bomb the hell out of Iran so it's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
And really, who's going to back the play of Iran? I think even at that point, Russia's like, I'm out. You know, I know they're buddies. I think China's like, do we care about Iran that much? No.
Iran is convenient for Russia, but there's no great love loss there if something changes.
No.
It's Iran is kind of it's the same thing as Ukraine, frankly. It's a lever. It's a way to poke at the other guys without poking at them with your own stick. You just poke at them with somebody else's stick.
Hey, it's always better if you can poke with somebody else's stick. Way less VD.
Exactly. So
double wrap.
And I would think the Iranians know this as well, is that as long as there's no actual direct U.S. war with Iran, Russia's their buddy and China and everybody else. But if the U.S. decides to officially be in the war with Iran, I don't think anyone's coming to their aid.
No, I think they're losing all their friends.
They'll be sold or, effectively sold. They'll be provided weapons from China, from Russia, from all the other countries that are friendly with them today. But none of those countries are going to, on their behalf, declare war.
No.
It doesn't make sense. You don't want to do that. You want to just... But again, it's literally the same thing that the U.S. is doing from the other side, because U.S. and European countries are sending tons of weapons that are used in Ukraine. And notice I didn't say by Ukraine, because half the people in Ukraine are not Ukrainians. They're imports from other countries, but they're used to fight Russia. But no one has declared war on Russia in support of Ukraine. They're just sending shit to Ukraine. And this is
good for business.
Well, yeah, it's good for a lot of things, but I think this is how a U.S. war with Iran would also turn out. So the one thing that the U.S. can't assume is that Iran's on its own, because what will happen in Iran is exactly what's happening with Ukraine, which is they will have more weapons than they know what to do with. They'll never run out of ammo. Like they're not going to be like going into Iraq, because nobody was on Iraq's side. No one gave a shit about Iraq. Iraq was a friend of the U.S. during the Iran-Iraq war. So we supplied Iraq with whatever they had. And then when we, for whatever reason, didn't like when Iraq did, frankly, a perfectly legitimate thing in going into Kuwait, who is dribbling diagonally underneath the border into Iraqi oil fields. That was the right kind of response, as far as I'm concerned. But at that point in time, we were friendlier with Kuwait than we were with Iraq, and therefore we ended up going into Iraq and then blaming Iraq for really what Saudi Arabia did in taking out the buildings.
I did like the meme of Zelensky asking for $20 billion to help find where the $100 billion they got already went to.
Right. Yes, that's great. Yes. He'll get it too. That's the sad part.
Well, this is where we need Elon. And it's interesting because people are so spun up, to use an Adam Curryism, about Elon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. He was not elected, but he is an advisor to the president. So you don't need to be elected.
The whole idea of people saying, well, he wasn't elected shows their stupidity.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it shows. Because guess what? 99.99% of people that get checks from the U.S. government were not elected.
I don't even think Elon's getting a check, so that's even better. He's working free.
No,
he's just having fun.
He's not working free, I guarantee you that.
Well, he's getting business deals, but he's
probably
not taking
getting 5%
a paycheck.
of any money he recovers.
So this is like the best way to go about it. So he's like the collector, the guy that bothers you when you're like, hey, man, you owe Unrelenting $100. If you can get any of that, we'll give you 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, that sounds like a good deal. We'll go collect your money for you. And if you're listening right now, you do owe Unrelenting some funds. So boost.
Mm-hmm.
But Elon, you don't have to be elected when you have
we got a message from Comic Strict Blogger here.
But not a boost because he's got to
read that
because he's a cheap son of a bitch.
Darren can go fuck himself.
Yeah,
no more donations from me to any of his podcasts.
Whoa, yeah,
he doesn't want to read messages or grams and rejects live grams.
Yes,
and that's all after I promoted the hell out of his podcasts and grams to podcasts of Adam Curry. I also paid the first 6 months of his Chat GPT Plus subscription. He's ungrateful, so it's over.
And he used it because he wanted the American access to ChatGPT. All I said was there are no guarantees in life, CSB. I was trying to teach you a very important lesson.
Mm-hmm.
As the reads get longer and longer, and what just kind of was like, dude, right now, what show was it the other day where he's like, I will wait until show begins. And I'm like, dude, right now, I'm in Helipad. Thank you, Eric PP, for doing the Helipad updates where you can separate the shows and all that. But I'm like, I'm in Helipad right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am taking all of the boost and I am cutting and pasting them into the show's notes. Anything that comes in during the show isn't guaranteed to be read. Well, then I will not send it in. Well, then fucking don't send it in. Yeah. Don't care. I'm like, do it. Why you want to inconvenience me? Be like, I'm going to wait till the show begins. Fuck you and your little fucking retarded things that you need to have happen before you do something. The world does not work that way.
So my take on donations way before this podcast, just for anything. That
you never wanted them because you've got so much money you were afraid your tax was going to go on to the next level.
That's not it. That's definitely not it. But, dude, I'm a poor struggling person here. Come on. I'm trying to, survive on Trump's economy. And I can't believe we don't have like $1 gasoline yet.
I know we should be down to at least 49 cents.
Something like that. Exactly. Anyway, my point has always been this. Anybody that makes a donation is donating for what they have already received, which is if they enjoy the show. That's how I treat it when I make donations.
Yeah.
If I like somebody's YouTube and I think they're hilarious or they give me some useful info on how to beat a video game, I will make a donation to them. And that is my voluntary contribution for something that I've already received. Right?
Yes, you are not looking to get
Adam set a bad precedent by turning donations into ad buys by letting people effectively send money in, not for what they've received. So I'm pointing the finger at Adam here, but for sending money in order to get an ad read. Now, you don't have to call them ad reads. You can call them donation reads, but much like NPR, the reality is that plenty of people have promoted their businesses on No Agenda with donations, me included, on multiple occasions when we did Kickstarters.
Surging.
Well, no. When we did Kickstarters, for the wallet, like a decade ago, we did a special deal where we had a no agenda version of the wallet with some 33s on it. And all the money that came out of those versions of the wallet in the Kickstarter were sent into no agenda. And it was done on as people are committing, not when we received the money, because we were using that to promote the wallet as well. It's like, hey, there's now, here's $200 to no agenda. And now talk about the wallet being in Kickstarter phase. And we need more money because the more people get the wallet, the more money we donate to no agenda. Like,
I love
I did that.
The people that listen to this show live. Thank all of you. Including, I'm guessing Cotton Gin, could be wrong, just came in with 2222 as definitely CSB.
Oh, so CSB made another donation.
Yeah, 2222. Definitely CSB okay. It's from, it says. So
okay, cool.
Thank you,
so
CSB.
There you go. There you go. You're just going to thank CSB every time somebody donates in the CSB's name. That's good.
Right. Bemro says, I see comic strip blogger has swung his perpetual feud back over to Darren. Yeah, I mean, it goes from me, then to Gene. Sometimes it's Bemrose. Sometimes, it all depends. There's always a feud going on.
Yeah.
And it's always just a big misunderstanding. It's a love fest, CSB.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we love CSB. He brings so much joy to the world.
Honestly, I think it's your fault for this show because what you failed to do as the
You're
producer,
the one that called him a racist.
He is a racist. See? And he hates me saying that. So here's the bit that he doesn't understand. Most of my friends I call racist, okay? So calling somebody a racist is not the insult that he thinks it is. It is you're a motherfucker is also not an insult if I say that to a friend.
True.
If I say that, that random person on the street's obviously a racist or a motherfucker, that's different, right? That's an actual insult. But people that I consider friends because I've known them forever, and amazingly CSB falls into that category, that's not a fucking insult, dude, but I'm not going to take it back because I say that to my friends and I mean that. You are a fucking racist. And so is Darren. And so am I. And so is my other co-host, dude named Ben. Like, all fucking racists. And there's proof of it. So anyway,
yeah,
I
Billy
think that's
Bones
funny.
Is pointing out, though, the co-hosts are not friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back, I've mentioned it before, the guy I worked for.
Oh, I just got a message from CSB saying, no, people are faking me. I didn't actually make a donation.
No, it says definitely CSB.
Okay.
When
so wait, do you think he's listening?
Of course. When my buddy that owned the carpet store and his buddy Dave would come in, Dave who had trouble hearing and he was Jewish. So when he would walk into the store, Mike would be like, "Hey, deaf Jew." And he would look at Mike and be like, "Fuck you, fatty." And that was hello.
That
was a
greeting,
friendly greeting. Yes,
exactly.
It's come on, CSB. You got to understand. You got to let that into your life.
Oh yeah. Well, and I just sent the dude named Ben a little video from, I don't know if you follow MMA at all, but there's a fighter that recently did his first podcast episode in which, this is an MMA fighter, dude. I can't remember his name, but in that episode,
there's some tough mofos.
He talked about how Hitler gets a bad rap and that really Hitler was a good dude and he'd love to go fishing with him. And because all Hitler really wanted, and how do people not understand this, is just to get his country cleaned out and purified and get all the stinking Jews out of it. Okay, so
I mean, I'm just typing fishing with Hitler. We have a title for the show.
Fishing with Hitler is a good title. Yeah. This guy literally on his first episode says this. And then Dana White's been, reporters are coming, "Oh, what are you going to do? You going to fire him? What's going on? What's this guy?" Dana White's like, "Okay, first of all, this guy's a moron. Everybody knows he's a moron. He's proved that he's a moron. But I'm not going to fire him because I don't employ him to write for me. I employ him to fight. And I suspect the list of fighters that want to fight him now is going to get much longer."
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. And it's like, there's there are actions that people can take which will result in maybe unintended consequences for that person.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly had a clip of AOC yesterday talking about how what Trump wants to do in Gaza is genocide. And Bill O'Reilly, after the little sound drop, was like, this woman is a moron.
She's always been. This woman says that Elon Musk is one of the stupidest people she knows.
Yeah. And then you look at her.
And
you're like,
barista in the city gets to go to Washington. It's hilarious. The only thing that I will say that I like about her is that she seems to have not benefited from all the insider trading that literally everybody on both sides of the aisle does.
Yeah, which is one of the things they really need to clean up.
Yeah, and that's one of her topics that she is trying to push through, is to put a bill in to prevent anybody in Congress from doing any trades, including through third parties like family members.
Well, like, that's the tough part. How do you, again, that's
easy.
Hunter
if
Biden.
You want to run for office, you have to sign a contract with all your family members saying
they need to sign
they will
up.
not try in you. And if you can't get that signature,
you don't get
guess what? You don't get to run.
Had another 3333 just come in from Not Fake CSB. Says, love Unrelenting show and Darren shouty voice and Russia shill Gene. That sounds like CSB.
I haven't mentioned Russia the entire show, and I'm somehow the Russia shill. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to be the Russian shill.
Yeah, that's an insult. Don't be calling me a Russian shill. That's an insult. You take that back. You officially send another donation in right now, and you take that back.
No one is afraid of Russians.
Apparently.
It's the way it works. Unless you're Vladimir Putin. Bill O'Reilly's new book coming out in September is Confronting Evil. And Putin's on the cover with Xi and Hitler and somebody else. I can't remember right now.
Well, that loses all credibility for O'Reilly.
You don't believe that.
He was too much of a pussy to put Obama on there? Really?
He likes Barack because he did interviews with him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That proves that he probably likes Taylor Swift.
Well, of course, because she was nice to his daughter.
Oh, you mean like he actually does like Taylor Swift?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He took the daughter to a Taylor Swift concert. Although it was like 10 years ago.
Piece of shit. My God.
Was very kind to his daughter, although he also liked
I always knew that he was actually a left-wing guy. That's pretty obvious because he's annoying and shouty, and
he does bloviate.
And he's very good friends with Jon Stewart, a known socialist that should have been kicked out of the country a long time ago.
And Donald Trump, though, known Donald Trump for 35 years.
Yes,
they
but
go to
does
ball
he
games.
like Donald Trump?
Yeah.
No. Well, that's not good.
He does. He likes Donald Trump.
But does he like what Donald Trump is doing now?
Yes. Oh, he thought Biden, he says Biden was the second worst president in the history of the country.
Who does he think the first is?
Was it Buchanan, the one that did nothing when the Civil War broke out because of him? That was the only one that he will rate as lower than Biden.
I think Biden is the worst, in my opinion. Jimmy Carter is the second worst, and partly because I've lived through both of those guys. But so there's a bias there for sure. But then probably Lincoln would be third. For a dude named Ben, Lincoln is always first.
He's his number one.
Yeah, Lincoln is his number one worst president.
That's an interesting choice.
Not really. I mean, he basically disregarded the Constitution.
Obviously, he's a racist.
Well, I think he was a racist.
But thanks, not CSB for not fake CSB. So that means it's real CSB, right? If it says not fake CSB,
not fake CSB,
then it must be real CSB.
Look, there's no way to confirm who the donations are actually coming from. That mechanism doesn't exist. So you got to go by whatever name's on there.
Yeah, that's all we can do. If everybody wants to donate as CSB, then we have to keep attributing to CSB. This is like Spartacus. I'm CSB. No, I am CSB.
Yeah, just like Spartacus. That's a great movie or a great TV show, by the way.
Except
the
CSB
movie wasn't very good, but
like
TV show's good.
Yeah.
No, Spartacus on was it on Showtime or Movie Channel or the one that
The pornographic one?
Yeah. It was really good. The one with Lucy Lawless.
Oh, well, Lucy. Yeah, I mean, I can see why you'd like that.
I've always liked Lucy. I mean, she's a bit of a tomboy, but
she's got the attitude, right?
She's got the attitude, but Lucy is like a solid 7 in terms of visual.
Well, and she could beat both of us up. So, I mean, there's also that.
She really can't. She's not that very tall, man. They've had a very short girl playing the role of her friend and Xena. What was her name? O'Connor. Her last name was O'Connor. What was her first name?
I never watched Xena, the warrior princess.
Clearly not a real lesbian then.
No. When did I claim to be?
You always claim to have been a lesbian.
I was always a young lesbian.
Uh-huh.
It's always the way it's worked out.
If you were a real lesbian, you'd be watching Xena.
And Xena, Lucy's had 2 different ex-husbands. Or no, is one current? Yeah, one's still current.
Okay, don't really care. That's a chick thing to worry about.
It's a chick thing. She's 56 years old.
Yeah. Your age.
Older.
Yeah, barely.
Way older.
Slightly.
I'm not even 55, man. I mean.
Yeah, so basically your age, yeah.
Until April.
So
that's what we're doing. A big push to boost.
Big blowout. A big blowout is
for the double Nicole birthday.
Double Nicole.
Do I get to pick the Nicoles? I mean,
so I actually argued on X, since you don't read X, that we need to get rid of pennies and nickels.
Well, I do want to say that Lucy Lawless, according to the bio, say she's between 5'10 and 5'11.
She's not.
I mean, I've never met her, so I can't say, but I'm just saying the bio says.
No, she's like an inch taller than me, dude.
One says 5'9 and a quarter. So, I mean, and you're what, 5'3", 5'3.5"?
According to dude named Ben, yes, I'm like, 5'2".
He's like, just put on a Stetson hat and some cowboy boots.
Which is hilarious because he wears like cowboy boots all the time. And he somehow takes into like his added 2 inches into his height all the time. He's like, I'm way taller than you. I was like, no, dude, I'm wearing flip-flops. You're wearing cowboy boots and you're barely taller than me.
I want to point out the subterfuge going on right now. Fediverse, direct message, CSB to Bemrose says, do a podcast with Gene. He's trying to steal my co-host.
Oh my God.
Wow, CSB's going to war.
He's going to war full time. Holy cow.
Here, CSB, would you support that fucking show or would you be a fucking douchebag and not support the show? If Gene and Bemrose do a show, how much you throwing in, CSB? It can't be your little typical $3. Can you come in with 25? They'll do a show. Come in right now, CSB.
We've done a few episodes in the past.
And he wants more because both of you have such just beautiful voices.
That's true. But we have voices that you can hear that are perfectly listenable and stuff.
Oh, of course. This is what we go for in podcasters.
Listenable voices.
We have perfectly listenable voices.
I think that's a high standard right there.
I don't think there's a higher standard to be had than perfectly listenable. I'm like, would you choose to listen to this voice? It's perfectly listenable. It's like going to the dentist.
I'm going to send you a picture of Lucy here.
Was it the first topless one or the second topless one?
All of them.
She's got a whole folder of Lucy Lawless naked.
Who doesn't? I mean,
my new computer, I am missing so many things.
Oh, you do. You never moved over the porn.
But this is what the NAS I've got. This is it. I've also got to, and I think this may be one of the problems where the audio was dropping out in mix, although I got rid of mix entirely. I reinstalled it.
Good.
I did some of the adjusting on the settings to see if it'll get any better. But I have, from my Windows machine, way too many external drives, and I don't access them all the time, but they're all plugged into USB. And of course, this is probably slowing down the system because it always wants to have everything active. So I just need a better way of cycling through them. Or what I need to do is take all of the external drives down and connect them to a USB hub and then connect it to one of the NAS systems. So that way it's all available, but it's over the network rather than trying to grab it locally. Because I think the Macs, more than Windows for some reason, when you have an external drive connected directly and it's not a super fast drive, if it's an old magnetic drive, it goes, I don't like this.
I don't know what you mean by that.
It just slows down. And the little beach ball comes up while it's trying to read what it wants to read. But this was the first time.
It shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I've had Macs for fucking 40 years and it not be doing that.
Yeah, do you have like 10 external drives hooked up to one Mac at one time?
I've had 4 external drives hooked up to one Mac.
Which I guess is almost enough. But
I've never had a beach ball unless it's trying to do, like if I do a search or something and it's searching, it might pop that up.
And that may be the other thing too. I may need to disconnect the indexing in case it's starting to try to index shit.
Oh yeah. Always turn off indexing. There's no reason to have indexing whatsoever.
So there has to be an easy setting in there. So just get rid of the spotlight indexing bullshit.
Yeah.
Because totally. Otherwise it's just like, going to slow you down.
I get rid of that shit on both Windows and Mac. It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary roughness. There is no, for people that are going to be on the stream, there is no podcasting 2.0 today. So there is no hot namespace talk or anything going on. Which means there's nothing for you to boost, CSB. Why are you even listening to this show?
Well, he doesn't say he doesn't like the show. He just says that you're an asshole.
Well, there's
a difference.
There's not even a question about that. That's like being the sky is blue, water is wet, Bemrose is cranky. All these things are always true. Bemrose, something the other day was like, yes. I put something in the troll room and Bemrose was like, I can't argue that. And I'm like, I bet you could. Bemrose can always argue.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he could, but I remember the first time I had him on Sergine Speaks.
Well, that was such a great show. I still go back and listen to that. Yeah.
It was 4.5 hours.
I mean, I'd listen to it at 0.75 speed too, just to really be able to enjoy it.
Yeah. No, it was, I thought it went pretty good. And the thing is, almost every topic we talked about, I'm sure there was a couple that weren't, but almost every topic, including, the great oxygen die-off of the planet Earth, we agreed on. And it was like people were disappointed because they kept waiting for more shit that we would disagree on. But realistically, I think Bemrose in general has the right idea. The problem is I think his expression of those ideas tend to grate people the wrong way.
Is this the way you're going to launch your brand new podcast, Ryan and Gene Are Fake and Gay? Available soon.
Fake and Gay.
On podcasting 2.0 platforms. People would listen to that.
You think?
And CSB, if you don't boost this show within the next 3 minutes, I am never letting you boost any other show that I ever do. It's over.
Oh my God. You're not going to let him boost?
We are drawing the line.
That's like the most extreme I've ever heard you.
Drawing the line. I'm going to block him.
If he doesn't boost right now, you're never going to allow him to boost ever.
I'm going to block him.
Wow. And you have the power to do that.
I do.
Yeah.
And I can do it on planetrage.social too, because I control the social.
Wow. That's crazy.
Hashtag block, says Billy Bones.
Blocked?
Yeah. Hashtag blocked. CSB doesn't understand my sense of humor.
CSB never blocks anybody.
I know.
He's said that multiple times.
Because it's violent.
Policy is blocking is violence.
He wants to nuke Russia, but blocking somebody on X is violent. And we can't really block on X anymore.
Hell, you can't. I block people every day.
But they still can see what you're posting. Elon changed that.
Sort of. They have to log in without being logged in.
No, even if you're logged in, because they've realized that you could just go in under another account and see it. So there was no point in pretending to block somebody now. So if you want your tweets or whatever they're called now to be totally private, you actually have to set the whole account as private and then authorize people
individually,
one by one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything fun and exciting coming up this week, Gene, you doing a big Super Bowl party this weekend?
Oh, is there a big festival happening?
Yeah, big Taylor Swift football thing. Donald Trump showing up.
Figured.
That should make the people of New Orleans so happy. And Jill Biden's going too with one of her kids. So Jill Biden and Donald Trump are both going to be in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Hey, terrorists.
For Taylor Swift concert.
It's like better than a Taylor Swift concert.
No, I mean, isn't that what's happening in New Orleans? This is a big old Taylor Swift appearance event.
It's going to be kind of. They're going to play football though.
But I don't think anyone's going to be watching. She's not going to sing. They're going to be watching Taylor Swift.
I mean, I'm not advocating for this, but you could take out Donald Trump, Taylor Swift, Jill Biden all in one fell swoop if you could somehow take out New Orleans tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift has better security than any of those people.
Probably. Well, she has ex-Secret Service, we know. So she's pretty much, and probably has more than Donald Trump.
Oh, absolutely.
Just saying.
Absolutely. Private security is always better.
It is. Because they care about their job and they're getting paid better. When and they're not worried about how it's going to look. The high-priced penthouse that Taylor has in New York, she bought the unit next to it for her security detail. So I mean, there's that. It's like you get to live in the lap of luxury, and you didn't boost CSB, so we're done. We have broken up. We are never getting back together, ever, ever, ever. Just saying. Any final words, Gene?
Nope.